Welcome to another episode of Business Fumbles. I'm your host, Sheila Williams, and today, people, we are including the producer, Tim. So, Tim, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself? And he will be tuning in.
I don't want to take your thunder, Sheila, or anything like that. This is your thing. Very, very proud, very lucky to be on here. Very happy. I have been here the entire time, I promise, but I got a little less shy this week, so you guys gonna hear me a little bit more often right now. But again, going back to not stealing thunder, I am not the honored guest this morning. Sheila, if you want to go ahead and introduce our special guest that we have today, I'll let you go ahead and do that.
Yes, so we have someone special. And he's, on top of being special, he's dear to me. You know, we've been friends for a while now. And he has so many, adventures. And being an entrepreneur is something that he is very, familiar with. And he will tell you his stories. So without further ado, let the guests know who you are and tell them a little bit about yourself.
All right. My name is Joshua Johnson. I've been in business since I was 18. I'm 33 now, so I've been running business for 15 years. A professional business player, okay? And it's a lot of up and downs. Entrepreneurship, I say, is the most phenomenal thing that a person can do, because I believe that in life, either you're going to work for someone or you're going to work for yourself. And working for yourself, there's no better way to do it. There's no better way to do it. Yes, is it scary? But so is jumping in a pool for the first time, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know how to swim, you think you're going to drown. But once you get in there, you're going to figure it out. And once you have the right people around you, so let me bring this back. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Because believe it or not, you have helped me out tremendously in my business career.
Oh,
okay?
Thank you.
Learning the different things. I remember walking in here with a regular suit on, coming in here saying, "Hey, look, I need to do some taxes." You was like, "No, you need to set up everything." Okay. So I'm like, "Oh, all right. Well, let's sit down." And then I got a little nervous about it because it's a new world. I don't know about taxes. Mm-hmm. I just knew about how to make money. Okay. Mm-hmm. So being an entrepreneur, that's what everybody's dream is. Everybody's dream is to make some money. But let's really get into it. What is money, right? If you ask the lower class what money is for, most of them would say, well, money is to buy things. You ask the middle class what money is for. They'll say, well, money is to buy things and pay off credit so you can get a better credit. You ask the upper class what money's for, they're going to tell you that money is a tool to create more money. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't know that because I was in the lower class trying to get up to the upper class. All right. So now that I'm making my way up there, I'm learning more in the business.
Yeah.
Learning.
That's, see, Timothy, I told you he was a good choice for this podcast. So now let's get into it. First of all, why don't you tell the audience what was your first endeavor that you created? And then why you chose that? And then what happened? Why did all of the other business come to play?
Okay, so my first business that I ever jumped into was a fragrance industry. I was in the fragrance industry. I was promoting a brand and building a business. I did that from the ages 18 all the way up till I was about 30. Okay. And I jumped into that business because at first I thought it was a job, okay? But when I got in there, I realized, okay, this is what the big picture is, okay? We're buy low, sell high. That's the business motto, and that's what I learned going into high school. When you want to build a business, you want to buy low, sell high. Got in that business, got to travel a lot. Got to see a lot of different things, meet a lot of different people. It really made me better when it came down with talking with people. Because I'm originally from New York, all right? So I'm from them skyscraper immaculate projects. That's what I grew up in, okay? So that's where I'm originally from. And getting from there to coming out here to Vegas, where you had carpet in apartments. I was like, what is this? We had
Yeah.
hardwood floors, right?
Right.
So,
If you were lucky, you had hardwood floors
right,
out there.
right. Now we want
Yes,
hardwood floors. We don't
yes.
even want carpet no more. Right?
I'm from
But-
Brooklyn. I know. Don't
Okay,
worry.
come
Yes.
on now. Already. So coming out here and running business, especially with the business people that I had a lot of good business partners in my last business. And they taught me a lot. They taught me a lot about how to make money. They taught me a lot about how to talk to people, how to talk on stages and talk in front of people. And I felt like that was very good, something that a lot of people need, because in all business, all you're doing is talking, right?
Right.
That's all you're doing. You're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People come buy a product, but they're really buying you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned that. And then what made me get out of that business was I'm a firm believer in God.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And when God tells me, hey, look, son, you need to go this way instead of going that way. Now, the first time when I heard it, I was like, no, I'm going to stick with my business. I'm comfortable.
Right.
Right. I'm comfortable in my business.
Yes.
Right. And it was the second time that I heard it. Okay. And I don't physically mean I heard it, but it was something I felt, right?
Yeah.
It was the second time. And the second time God said, listen, I told you, you need to go this way.
Right.
So I took a step back. I had actually got really sick in my last business. And I realized that when I was running business, I wasn't running business. The business was running me.
Yeah.
If you can't step away from your business, okay, and your business is still on autopilot, then you don't have a business. You're just an overpaid manager, right?
Yeah.
So I stepped away and my business started slowing down, and I was like, oh, this is what you meant by I need to go this way. Yeah. So I actually got into business with my fiance, okay? And now we do life insurance and investments.
Yes.
So how I look at it now is my first couple of years in business, I was getting money from people, all right? In sales, you're getting money, right? Now I'm in business for teaching people how to make money, all right? And it's just a phenomenal thing now. It's a phenomenal thing. Like when it comes down with life insurance, they've been putting people in the wrong life insurance. If you're not in that upper class, you don't even know that there's a such thing called a Plan B policy, right? And then not only that, what do we do with money? How does money truly work? Who teaches us this? We don't have the teachers and we don't have the students. So now that we have a teacher and now that we have students, I mean, we got Instagram, Facebook. There's so many ways to talk to people now, right? So, and we just promote it out and show people that there's something better out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I have to say this because everyone has the same thing of saying that they were not taught. You know, and I want to go back to that because, you know, we have the younger generation, some of the older generations jumping into being an entrepreneur, and they think that, okay, I'm going to do it. And because they have that passion behind whatever they're doing, there's a lot of things that they're jumping into and they don't know. And that finance and money management is one of the biggest things. You know, we had an episode where we interviewed another person, and they were the only ones out of all of the ones that we interviewed that did it right. They had the product, they thought about it, they reached out to me, and they said, look, this is what we want to do. What should we do? And so they did it, and then I called them back and I said, okay, you have increased your revenue. So now we need to switch it up and we need to go this way. And they did it. And then they worked. And then I called them back in and said, okay, now you are at this point.
Yeah.
So we need to do this. And we started to do things that help them in their future. Because like you said, your business was running. And the minute that you got sick and you couldn't do it, your business slowed down.
Exactly.
And that's where I'm at right now because I do have staff. And in 2022, I lost a lot of family members. Sorry, it's a little emotional for me. But going through that,
Mm-hmm.
I had someone to keep the business going. So my business didn't stop. But now I'm at the point where I need to be removed from the business altogether.
Okay.
And this is a learning thing for me that I can do it.
Oh yeah.
But it's gonna, I gotta plan it out and map it out. And that's where I'm at now. And people, it's not easy. You just can't take your business and hand it over to somebody else and say, hey, I created this. This is the way that I'm running it, and I need you to do the same. Don't work that way.
Yeah.
It's still gonna require me to be here just a little bit more, just because I still have to watch it. And I'm not at that point. But I do understand now, in order to get to the point that I need to be,
Mm-hmm.
I need to bring somebody in that's invested.
Mm.
Because if they're
There you go.
invested,
There you go.
then you know that they're going to do their utmost to keep it going the way that you at it, because they're invested. They need their money. And they don't want to see their money go down, just like I don't want to see my money go down.
Exactly.
So I do understand that that's the key. So now you are in insurance. To me, that is huge.
Oh, yes.
Because how many times have you seen people on Facebook or on all of these other social medias that they lose a loved one and they have to start a GoFundMe?
Fish fries.
So now,
car washes.
yeah, car wash,
All
all of
of
that
them.
kind of stuff.
All of
So now I want to really get into this.
Okay.
I want you to tell them, how much would it cost for them to cover their parents,
She's
their
passionate
kids?
about this.
She's
know,
feeling this one. She's feeling
right.
this one.
Passionate about this. I love this.
Her
Come on.
kids, your mom, your dad, your kids. Tell them.
Well, let's say it like this, right? You got a cell phone. You get insurance on your cell phone in case it breaks, right?
Yes.
You got a car. You get insurance on your car in case you get in an accident. Your house, you get insurance on your house. But why are people not insuring the most important thing in their life, which is them? Simple question, right?
Yes.
We don't think about that because we don't want to think about the end result, but it's inevitable. We're
Yes.
guaranteed to live and we're guaranteed to die. That's period, right?
Absolutely.
But what are you going to leave your family when you go? Are you going to leave them debt? Or are you going to leave them wealth? It comes down to simple questions. So when I'm showing people life insurance, right? It's not really life insurance. It's income protection insurance, because if God forbid you were called home, we can't take that money to God and be like, God, bring her back. We can't do that, right? That's not possible, right? So it's income protection insurance, because Miss Sheila, if you stop working right now, the loss of your income would be devastating to your family.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So what life insurance is it protects your income in case something happens to you prematurely. Now, in case nothing happens to you, that's where we set up the investments.
Right.
Okay. And it goes back into that question. Well, that statement that I made where people don't have the teachers. Everybody thinks that you go get money and the more you have, the better you're going to be. Don't work like that.
Right.
I mean, we can look at everything in the news right now. No Diddy, right? It don't work like that.
No Diddy.
And I don't care how much money you have,
Yeah.
problems are going to come. But the money is not a problem solver. The money is just a tool.
Yes,
Right?
it is.
So
Absolutely.
when it comes down with, and I know I'm jumping all over the place. This is how my brain works, okay? When it comes down with a life insurance, when you pass away, because it's going to happen, right? We all know this. When you pass away, money that comes to you is tax-free.
Right.
Tax-free money instantly. Imagine right now if when your mother or your grandmother passed away, they left you with $500,000. Would you be in the same situation you were in right now if you had $500,000 when you were born?
Well, here's the point. Now, okay, that's an interesting thing, but let me get into it.
Oh,
All right.
come on.
I've known people that have died and have left
Mhm.
a large sum along with assets,
Okay.
all for it to be gone in a wind. Let's say less than
There
a year,
goes.
because they were given something that they didn't work for. Number one.
Exactly.
Number two, they was never educated.
Exactly.
And number three, and most importantly, they were never taught.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They wasn't taught because they grow up, you know, like one thing that I see all the time is that, you know, and I'm just gonna say this: you drive a nice car, right?
Yes.
Love your cars. Always compliment you on your car. But I'm just gonna ask you one question, and I want you to be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
When you brought that car, was that the car of your dreams, or was that the car that everybody else was gonna see and put you in a different status?
Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so again, I've been running business since I was 18. When I was 18 and I was buying cars, it was because, oh yeah, look at me, I'm doing it, right?
Right.
And then when I hit 25,
Mm-hmm.
I had bought my Lexus. I bought a brand new Lexus. Okay, right from the Lexus dealership, right up the street. And when I bought my Lexus, I drove it to my grandmother's house, and my grandmother said, "Oh, that's an amazing car. Where are you gonna park it?" I said, "Outside my apartment." She said, "You're gonna park that car outside your apartment. Why you don't have a house?" Whoa. Hold on now, Grandma. Hold on.
Yes.
Whoa. So
Yeah.
that got me thinking, what am I spending my money on? Right. And you said earlier that you know a lot of people that had been given assets and given
Yes.
money, right? And it was gone.
Yeah.
That's because we don't teach the youth.
Right.
That goes back into the no teachers and no students,
Yes.
right? My children right now know what the rule of 72 is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people don't know what the rule of 72 is.
I was about to ask. I was like, what is that?
Oh, I'm about to get into it. The rule of 72, and you can do this right now. You can Google this, okay? The rule of 72 works like this. You take the number 72, you divide it by your interest rate that you're receiving at your bank or your 401k or pension, and it's going to let you know how long it takes your money to double, okay? So let's say you're getting a 1% in your bank. 72 divided by 1. That's 72 years.
Yeah.
That's 72 years. So if you put $10,000 in a bank, it would take 72 years for that 10,000 to turn into 20,000.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
See, they don't know that. But my children know this because I teach it to them, right? Rule of 72, interest, compound interest. These are certain things that, I'm going to be honest, why are they not teaching us in school?
They don't.
They teach us how to work.
Yeah.
They don't teach us how to live.
And another thing that escapes, in which I put in my book, things we never learned. And in that chapter, that's what I talk about. You go through school. Imagine if you're in school, you're in high school, right? And now you're going through the financial literacy, right? How would it have affected you if they said, okay, for your life, you decide to flip burgers? Just saying, you make this amount hourly wage, right? Every week, this is what you're going to get, you know? And then they give you real life. Okay, so now you have your rent, you have your lights, you have your, you know, all of this stuff.
Inflation.
And you got kids or whatever. And then they subtract it out. Imagine how the kids would think if they saw that number that was on the bottom, like, man, we have to do something. But they never done that. Imagine in high school, they taught you, okay, this is the credit. This is how credit works for you. They calculate this to come up with a number that tells the people that you are a responsible person.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine what that person would do if they had that knowledge coming out of that school. See, one thing that I learned when I was in high school, because I've always, my whole life, been an overachiever. I'm going to be honest. I cried when I got a B because I always had to have the A. So one thing that I learned, you know, before I got out of high school, and I remember, you know, telling kids that I grew up with, like the other day, one of the kids that I grew up with, he sends me a message in Facebook. He said, you always said that you was going to have your own company and you were going to be, you know, be able to teach people.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I did. And my best friend was like, yeah, all the time. I don't remember that. She said, but yeah, you would say it all the time. But one thing that I knew when I left high school, and I would tell my mom, I said, well, I feel like high school and what I've learned, before I went to college, I knew that I had two options.
Mm-hmm.
And that was either I can work with my hands or I can work with this.
There you go.
And I
you
chose
go.
to work with this, no matter what everybody said, because everybody would always say, man, you're always in school. You're always doing this. You're always doing that. I never felt bad about it. You know, even my husband told me, you're going to be 100 years old and you still going to be learning. And I'm okay with that.
That's true.
Because that's who I am, because that was a lesson that I took from high school. I either going to work with my hands or I'm going to work with this. And I chose to work with this. And I don't feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying?
You shouldn't.
Right. But with me having the company that I'm dealing with, just like when you said, when you came to me and you said, I taught you so much, that was one of my ultimate goals, because there's a lot of people out here that has the ability to make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
But there's not too many of them out there that's able to do that and understand what it
willing,
feels,
and are willing
what their
to do
future,
it. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
and what their future holds for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they make money, they want to spend money.
Exactly.
You know, and I remember, you know, like what you said, your grandmom said to you when my son had an accident. And he's handicapped now, but he was in a coma, and he had to learn how to walk and everything. And I was in Chicago, and I was at my son's house. And so my son, he was real proud because they have a big house, and, you know, they had the cars and everything. And we were looking out of his front window, and he says, Mom, what do you think about my truck? I think he had a Jaguar truck. And so I looked out there and I said, it's nice. And he says, you know, well, you have a Lexus or whatever. I said, yeah, my Lexus is paid for though, you know? And he looked at me and he said, well, what do you mean by that? And I said, okay, how much money is parked out there in your driveway? And he looked at me and he says, what do you mean? I said, how much money is parked out there in your driveway? Is what in your driveway more than what you have in your bank account or in your wallet? If it is, I want you to think. And he thought, and he said, well, yeah. There's more in my driveway than I got in my pocket.
You teaching lessons.
And that's something that I had to, you know, stop, and I had to think for myself. When COVID hit, I keep bringing this up because guess what? Put me in the situation myself. And, hey, the government was funding us, you know. They were giving out this money and everything. While everybody was happy that they was receiving that, you know what I was thinking? The government is keeping our, you know, it's keeping our world going. It's funding everything. It's funding the stores. It's funding our buying power. It's funding our stock market. It's funding, you know, the businesses running. Funding everything. This is not going to be the end of a pandemic. Another one is going to come.
Oh, it's been one every single year since 1991.
Yeah, but then what we going to do?
Crazy.
Government has spent all of the money.
We'll get on that topic a little bit later. Okay, because we're not going to talk about the government,
right,
okay?
No government.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that because we can jump in that topic for sure.
Sure, right.
We'll get on that one later.
We can talk about our money first.
Yeah. Let's keep it on our money.
Yeah.
Government, we, you know,
but
don't come looking this way.
Right.
Okay?
But the point that I'm trying to make is that insurance costs, you could get insurance to cover just the burial for as little as $30, $40. I know it's horrible.
I would never set nobody up with a burial policy.
What I'm saying is, why are you doing a GoFundMe when you could pay as little as that to cover it?
Exactly.
Okay. So there's other things that you could talk about that is out there for them to do. And just like you said, it could be the same cost as you covering your car or you covering your house.
You get insurance for cheaper than your cell phone bill.
Yeah.
And people don't know this because it's kept away from you. Now, you had made a statement. You were telling us about when you told your son about the cars in the garage. That's a life lesson. And through life lessons, that's when you learn who you really need to become. I learned my first life lesson, the first one that I could remember was I was in junior high school. Okay. Y'all call it middle school out here. Okay. In New York, we call it
Junior high,
right?
high.
So I'm in junior high school, and this was my 5th grade teacher. Her name was Miss King. Okay. True story. I can't make this up. She called it. Well, everybody was in class, and she said, "Hey, I want everybody to do a project on who you want to be when you grow up." Okay, so she went through the class. Who do you want to be? 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 Now, at this time, I was the class clown. Okay, that's what we'll call it. I was a smart ASS. Okay, I don't know if this is censored or not, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right.
Will be.
So, she calls Joshua. And when a teacher call you by your first name and emphasize on it, yeah. Joshua, what do you want to be? So I stood up in class and I said, "Hey, well, look, I want to be a drug dealer, or I want to be somebody getting money, right?" She said, "No, you are not doing that. We are not writing no report on you being no drug dealer." Okay, and I was in 5th grade. All right, but that's what I saw. I saw people getting money, right?
Oh.
Driving nice
you legit
cars.
said that though. You
Yeah,
said
I
that?
literally
literally
said that.
said that.
So now, normally, now keep in mind, this is serious. Normally, I would, if a teacher said, "Leave me alone," right? But Miss King was really close with my mama. Okay, and I'm not going against my mama. Okay, so she said, "No, this is what I want you to write a report on. I want you to write a report on being a doctor." So I go home. Okay, I go home, y'all. I do this whole report. Come back to school next week, right? Everybody stands up in class. Got people. I want to be a firefighter. This is why. I want to be this. This is why. I want to be a teacher. This is why. Right. So now it's my turn. Joshua, come up here in the front of the class. I'm like, okay, cool. And we had a chalkboard. I'm showing age now. Okay, we had a chalkboard. All right, I'm showing age. Okay. So she said, "I want you to write why you want to be a doctor." So I write on the chalkboard. Doctors make, at that time, was about 6-figure income. And that was a lot back in the 90s. Okay. 6 figures. Whoa. $100,000. Oh my God. Right. That was a lot back in the 90s. Said doctors make about a 6-figure income. They got to go to school, finish school, right? High school, go to college, 4-year college. Then they have to do 5 to 10 years extra. Okay. And then once they actually get their doctor's degree, and I told this to my teacher, once they actually get their doctor's degree, they have to be in their practice for about 5 to 10 years. I said, that doctor's probably $40,000. I mean, that doctor's probably about 40, 50 years old, making $100,000. And she said, "Well, do you want to be a doctor?" I said, "No." She said, "Why don't you want to be a doctor?" The whole class gets quiet. I said, "Miss King," I looked her dead in her soul. I said, "I want to be the hospital." Everybody started laughing. And in my mind, I'm like, why are y'all must not understand what I comprehend, right? She goes, "You can't be a hospital." I said, "Miss King, who do you think pays the doctor?" Some person that probably didn't go to school, had some money, built a building, put their name on it, and said, "This is the hospital." I said, "I want to be the hospital." She said, "Go to the principal's office."
She sent you to the
She sent me to the principal's office.
No way.
Yep, instantly. I'm getting the goosebumps talking about this. She sent me to the principal's office.
Because she thought that you were being like
But
funny.
right then and there, I knew I needed to run business
Yeah.
at a young age.
You were 12, maybe?
I was 12.
Yeah.
Maybe 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I knew right then and there, I was like, I need to run business.
Wow.
I didn't even really know what business was, but I was just like, I can't work for somebody. And for all the people that's out there that's watching this or gonna watch this, if you feel the same way, start a business. I don't care if you're scared. I don't care if your family and friends told you it was crazy. Don't do it. When people tell you don't do it, go do it. Start your business.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're gonna regret it.
You know, when you was telling the story about the teachers, sometimes I guess you find out a lot about yourself when you go through those things, because I remember in high school we had to write a report on our hero, why that person was our hero. And you know, when I was in high school, everybody wanted to write about Malcolm X or Dr. King, or, you know, they had their sports people. And I do remember when my teacher got to me and she says, "Well, who is your hero? You know, you have to pick someone that's your hero." And it was so hard for me to figure out who my hero was. And, it made me feel as if something was wrong with me. In all honesty, I really felt like something was wrong with me. And I went home and I told my mom, Mom, I have to write a report on who my hero is, and I can't figure it out. And she says, well, who do you admire? And I said, well, what do you mean by admiring? And she says, when you think about that person, you think that person is exceptional. They did something that was grand. They did something that was, powerful in your eyes, and you would want to somehow one day be that,
Mm-hmm.
And so she talked to me for a few minutes, and I never forget, she says, well, what do you think that a hero would be to you, or someone that you admire? I said, well, to be a hero to me, they got to do something that I know I can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody out there that did this, I can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
If I put my mind to it, and if I work extra hard, I can do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
She said, so who is your hero? Who inspire you? And I said, there's only one person in this world that does. And when I went back to the school, and she says, who do you want to be like? And when I told that teacher that the only person that I could think about that was my hero was Jesus Christ.
Come on now. Big God. I was
she
just about to
looked
say
at
the same
me.
thing. God.
Yeah.
God,
like, she was-
on
She looked
podcast,
at
God
me.
is my
Right.
hero.
She was
Big
prepping it
God.
up so hard.
Okay.
No, but seriously, she
Yes.
looked at me and she says, well, you want to write about Jesus Christ? I said, that's the only person that I can think about, because guess what? I can never do what he did. I
Exactly.
can never measure up to him. But I thought about it, and I really looked at it, and I said, but look, if I go out there and I try every day to be just like him, I'm going to fail miserably. But it doesn't hurt me that
Because
I
you failing
fail.
up.
Because every day that I try to be like him, I become better. I become a better person.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll never, ever in my life achieve it. But I can keep trying.
Exactly.
And guess what? That's what have driven me my whole life. Ever since I was 17 years old when that happened.
I love that.
From 17
love
years
that.
old, I still feel the same way. I still do the same thing. Everything that I do, I'm trying to mimic Christ. And I fail. Every morning I wake up, I fail.
That's amazing.
I fail, but I'm a better person. I'm, like my family see it. It used to be a time where if I got upset, I was a yeller. Now it's like I'm all calm and I'm looking at them like, okay.
Yeah, you mad?
But that's because I'm trying to mimic someone that I can never become. And you know what? When you were telling your story, you're right. When people experience things like that, at that point, they don't have to put themselves down, because for a long time, and I'm saying a long time, and I felt like something was wrong with me because I couldn't do what everybody else, these simple things that everybody else did. I felt like it was me. Something was wrong with me.
Well, you got two type of people in the world. You have people that's going to work, and then you have people that's going to build.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And it's separated just like that. Either you're going to work for somebody to build what they want you to build, or you're going to build your own thing, right? Let's kings and queens of Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
okay? They didn't build those pyramids, right? They didn't build them, but they're taking the credit for building them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the same thing. You had that moment, and everybody has that moment. But then what stops them from going into business is they have all those other moments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I'm gonna start my own business. How much does it cost? Your startup costs $10,000. Oh, dang, I never had $10,000. How am I I'm gonna start a business with, and I never had $10,000, right? So they're scared.
Mm-hmm.
People got to stop living in fear.
Yeah.
We live in the greatest time to ever be on the planet Earth is right now.
I think it's scary. I think
It
that
is
you're
scary.
right,
It is very scary.
But I
It
think
is
that
scary.
it's scary. But knowing what I know, yeah, I'm happy about it because it's gonna get me closer to where
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
I'm going. But it is scary, like something that you said, right? And I think me and you are on the same. You said that you felt like God told you it was time for you to move.
Yeah, God
And
talks
he
to all of
told
us.
and he told you that it was time for you to take
Mhm.
a left or right. And I have a lot of people that, and I see a lot, even with their business. God blessed me with this and God blessed me with that. And this is in my book. And so I'm gonna bring it to you because there's question on how you know that God is directing you.
Mm.
How do you know that? Okay, so I'm gonna illustrate it, but now I'm talking to you.
Okay, come on now.
So,
Talk to me.
Joshua,
That's my name right out the Bible.
okay, and I'm saying it just like
on now.
your teacher said it.
Oh, she's
Joshua,
coming at you now.
let's say God knocked on your door this
Mhm.
morning, and He said, Joshua, today I'm going to drive you to work. I'm going to drive you around, right? In Las Vegas. Now, you know exactly the location where you need to go. You know exactly all of the things that you need to do. So he tells you, get in the car, relax. I'm taking charge and I'm going to drive you. So y'all start driving. And he said, so tell me, how's your day going? What do you think is stopping your growth? What do you think is going on that's stopping you from doing all of the things that you want to do? So then you start talking and you was like, well, I had this problem last night. Now he's driving, right?
Mhm.
And you're looking and you're all happy and excited. But you notice that when he gets to that stoplight, he makes a left. But you know in your heart that he was supposed to make a right.
Mhm.
So now he made that left. And so now you're a little distracted because you're like, okay, where he going? Because I know that he was supposed to go in the other direction. So now he's driving and he says, don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Tell me about your day and I'm going to give you the answers that you need. So now he's driving, right? And he's going further and further away and you talking. But the whole time you looking around like, so now he takes another jerk, right?
She preaching.
And he
She preaching.
puts
She's going.
on and he turns and he gets on the E-way in a totally different direction.
Mhm.
So now he says to you, seriously, are you going to tell me what you need today? Or are you just going to sit here and just. And so you say, oh, okay. So, well, what I feel like I need, and he's driving and he's driving, and then you look at your watch and you're like, man, my first appointment is in 5 minutes. And I don't know where he's going. So then you just turn around and you just look at him and you say, okay, I know you God and all of that, but I got an appointment in 5 minutes. And I don't know where you taking me. And the moment that you say that, he pulls up at your direction, at your first appointment. And then he turns to you and he says, can you tell me how I got here? Would you be able to tell him?
Well, if that was the situation, then of course not, because you was too distracted. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, if God came to my doors and knocked on it and said, we driving, I'm going with you. Wherever you want to go, I'm not asking no questions. I ain't got, you
But
made a
see,
wrong turn because he
but-
could have saved
Right.
me. I could have went left and it could have been a traffic jam, or I could have
Right.
went right and it could have a car accident, right?
Right.
Anything. So I would never question God.
Well,
Like,
we
but
say that.
if that
but
was it.
if it was me,
Mm-hmm.
if I knew the direction and that's the issue, we always think that we know it because we've been there.
Well, yeah.
We took this direction.
Until you don't know
we
God.
know all the,
Yeah.
even if you know him, if you drove there every day and you knew all of the shortcuts and he's taking something that you don't know in your mind, you're thinking, I'm going to be lost, whether it's God or
Now,
not.
if this
And
was
we
an
have to be
Uber driver-
completely honest.
Yes.
We have to be completely honest. And in that story, this is the reason why I tell it, because the only time you get to that point where you're going to relax and let God take it, even when you get to that point, it's still scary but you're able to relax. And I know that in my life, that's where I've gotten, but it took a lot of years for me to get there.
Yes.
It's not something that comes naturally. So when you're an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to let go of the will and allow.
My bad. If you have the right teachers, because if you don't have the teachers, then yes, it will take you years to get there. But if you have the right teachers or the right coaches or the right mentors, having a mentor is just like God in the story you just said.
Yeah.
It's your GPS.
Yeah.
It's your GPS, right?
But here's the thing. You were saying they have to have the right teachers. I had the right teachers, but I still.
Then you weren't listening. And that comes down to everything. That's
so
the same
you feel
thing.
like I wasn't listening?
Yeah, you weren't. You weren't. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say sometimes we
think we know best.
We think we know best. Sometimes we
right.
Sometimes
and that's the part that I'm trying to bring up.
Sometimes we might be on a right path at that time, all the time, and it might be the right path all the time. And then the second your teacher's like, all right, now we're gonna take a different path. You're like, that's not the right path. You trust yourself now more than you trust the teacher sometimes.
Yes.
And the thing, I don't know if this is what you were getting at.
Yeah.
But even when we're good at what we do, or we have experience in business or whatever it is, we're still learning.
Of course.
And we can't be afraid to be wrong.
Yes,
and
that's the point that I was trying to
I think
make.
that's what
And I wanted you to bring that out.
Okay, cool.
You cannot be afraid to be wrong because I've been in it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people might consider me as successful. But I still been wrong over and over.
Out of the 15 years of me
again.
running business, I've been wrong thousands of times.
And that's what we want to discuss because those
now
wrong.
There we
okay,
go.
I
There
get
we
that.
go.
Okay. So let me know this, okay? Because I'm like, where we going with it? But I'm with it.
So
I'm with it.
with those wrongs, I want to take those wrongs. And that's why I bring it up because we're trying to help the next generation of entrepreneurs.
Of course.
And some mistakes don't have to be made.
Oh, no.
It doesn't have to be made.
You're completely correct.
Right.
There's some mistakes that you never should have had. You don't ever have to duplicate. But
and talk about some of those.
okay, let's talk about the business mistakes. First thing first, not managing your money right. Okay? That's the first biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make.
And what are some of the main things that they do?
Having a high overhead. They want to get the fancy car, the nice office. They want to get instead of getting instead of going to go get a secondhand phone, they want to go get a brand new phone for the office, right? Instead of paying $50 a month for their Wi-Fi, they want to pay the $150, right?
Yeah.
They get overwhelmed with bills because they have the vision that's larger than their bills.
Right.
But having a vision without that ethic, that worth ethic, that grind, that grit, that passion, right? Your bills are going to overcome your vision every time. Right. So that's the first biggest mistake is not taking care of what needs to be taken care of and putting your wants before your needs. The second, another second big mistake that a lot of people make is when you start making money, the true you comes out. If you're a giver naturally, you're going to give to people. And I'm sorry, but when I first started making money, before I started making money, I had some friends. When I started making money, I had a lot of friends, right? Then when my money started going down, those lot of friends disappeared. I was like, whoa, hold on now. Didn't I lend you $2,000 before? Didn't I give you $150 before? Hold on. I need a little help, right? And
how do you control that? That right there is so important because I'm a giver.
You got to pay yourself first.
Right.
You have to pay yourself first.
But how do you know? How do you, what would you advise people on the people, like you said, you started off with this amount of friends, but then when you got money, it became that. Okay. What advice would you give them to get rid of that?
When it comes down with business, I say stop making friends and start making family. Friends, Friend. END, that means they end.
Yeah.
A friend is going to end. When you make family, FAMILY, I love you. You make family that's going to last. I will always help out my family, right? Whether they're blood family or just you're part of my family. But friends, listen, if I'm doing something and you want the same results, come do it with me.
Right.
You don't have to do the same business as me, but we got to have that same worth ethic.
Okay,
if I
I'm
don't
sorry.
see that you grinding the way I'm grinding, don't ask me for help.
I'm sorry, but I need you to repeat that.
Oh,
Okay.
I really do.
that was natural.
No,
All
I
right.
really do. I need you to repeat that.
So with the FEN friend, she
I
wanted to
need
go
you to-
way back, right?
Hey,
she wanted me to go
let's
way
go.
back. I hope you got that. Okay.
Yeah, but we want you to repeat
Because this is not
it.
scripted. Like we have
Right.
no.
Right, it's not. So I need you
Nope.
to repeat that because, and the reason why, and I want the listeners to listen to it because he just dropped. This is a pearl, okay? This is a pearl, and I want you to really get it. So can you repeat that?
In business, stop trying to make friends and start making family. Because friends, if you spell it FRIEND, friends end. Family, FAMILY, ILY, I love you. Okay? You can take care of your family, but stop trying to take care of all your friends. Okay? Because if your friends want the same results that you have, then they need to be doing the same thing you're doing. Not necessarily in business, right? Like Miss Sheila, you run a tax business. I run an investment company. Okay? So you're running business. We're doing the same thing. That's what I mean by business, right? Now, if you needed help, your family. I got you, right? You know what I'm saying? But if a friend came in, oh, hey, Jay, I ain't seen you in 10 years. I heard you was doing great in business. Can I borrow $10,000? What's your business plan? Why? Because I made that mistake.
Right.
I made a lot of money. I made $300,000 and spent $350,000. And half of it went to friends,
Yes.
okay? So if you keep helping, matter of fact, take it all the way back. You can lead a man, you can give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime.
I was about to bring that one up.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I was like, you're not gonna just hand a guy a fish. You're
No.
gonna like, come down the lake with
Exactly.
me.
Let me show you how to
Let's do
fish.
this
Hook it
together.
real. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Pull it in.
Yeah.
Now you don't never have to ask me for a fish again. I can feed my family, and I taught you how to feed yours. If you don't want to do it, that's on you.
Man.
And that's the toughest thing. See, a lot of people think business people are mean. They're not mean. We just have to be smart, right?
Yep.
It's never about how much money you make in a year. It's about how much money you still have after you made it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what it's about. That's how you play the game. When you play Monopoly, you don't just go buy up a bunch of stuff, right? You're strategically planning, okay, I want all 4 of these properties so I can put houses on them, right? Let's go back to Monopoly,
Right.
Let's go
My
back to the
kids play
actual board
Monopoly
game.
and it'd be
Right?
a big fight. So
Oh, yeah,
let's
it's
not
always
get-
a fight, but that's life.
Yeah,
That's
that's
life.
life.
My
Right.
dad is the best
That's true.
Monopoly player I've ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
was
I
he was the
learned-
bank, huh?
No, I was.
Oh.
I was. And he taught me that you can be better than the bank if you know how to run your money smarter. And so
Okay.
like, he's like, you don't have to have all the money to win the game.
No, you don't.
Right.
And I was like, wow.
You just got to hold a little bit of something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay? Master one thing first.
My
That's-
son in our family, my son, he has to, he's very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And when we play Monopoly, he is back there, he's quiet, but when it's time, give me my money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's why when you said Monopoly, I'm like,
You want to see who
my
your real
God,
friends
they
are?
been
Play
fine.
Monopoly.
Yeah.
Okay. Play Monopoly. You're going to see who your real friends are real quick. Real quick, right? Like, whoa, where did this come from? Where did this is fake money.
Right.
No. Whoa, okay.
And I like that you brought up that you can't focus on friend. You got to focus on business. And listen, whether you guys want to accept that advice, that's a jewel that he just dropped. That's a pearl. That's something that you want to hold on. And when I mean hold on, take that whole phrase that he says and when you're approached with things, you got to hold on to that. And that's something that I do. I hold on to, I hold on to those things because like right now, with me trying to, like you said, walk away and let it just do what it's going to do and go off to my other ventures, I have something that's stuck here that I can't shake.
Yeah, you probably
And
feel
it
like
stunts
people
me.
can't
and
do it
that
how you
is,
do it.
A wise person told me that you can't allow a blessing from God to become a benefit for Satan.
Mm.
And it's stuck here.
Mm.
Yes. So
bringing fire.
it's hard for
She's got a
bringing
lot. She got
fire.
a lot to bear.
no, seriously. So because of that, it's hard for me to just make a decision now when it comes to this. Because
It's like a
how am
newborn
I going to
baby.
make that decision? Because if you really look at it, it is a blessing. If I walk away from it, am I doing something wrong? Am I setting it up to be a benefit for Satan? So I'm thinking that's something that sticks with me. Now I got your phrase. It's stuck here. So when I get new people, are you a friend or are you a family?
Well, when I first started running business, everybody
know?
that came in my office, I wanted them to be family. I wanted them to be family. I would tell them like, look, don't come work for me, come work with me. I wanted them to be family, and I would help them and help them and help them and help them and help them. And then when I needed help, I had to go do it, right? So these are just lessons that you learn, right? You learn them. I just been blessed to have learned so much in my time, okay, that I'm able to give it out. When you're in business, you're always going to be a student and you will always be a teacher.
Yeah.
You will always be those two.
But you come out on, in all honesty, you come out on top pretty quick. And that's because of your work ethic.
Yeah.
It's your work ethic.
Yeah.
Because you switched over and now you're doing something different and you had to learn it, but you went all the way in.
Yeah.
You wasn't
I wasn't
holding
afraid
no
to ask
punches.
for help.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I came straight to you. Matter of fact, before I left my last company, I came to you and said, Miss Sheila, I think I'm about to leave.
Right.
And we had that long talk right over there, right? And it took a couple of months, right? Because even though 6 months before I came to you, I was already feeling like, dang, okay, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go. But then
and
it
that's
took.
scary, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because I'm scared.
Of course. I was terrified.
What? I'm scared.
I was like, how am I gonna go find this again? And then I had to sit down and talk to myself. I believe God is internal. So I had to talk with myself and God. And I had to say, listen, well, nobody handed this to me.
Right.
Right? So if you did it once, you could do it again. Business is business. Different product, different people. Learn it and do it. And I did.
Yeah.
But I asked for help. That right there, I don't have enough pride where I'm not gonna ask for help.
Right.
Because if I keep failing and I'm not learning from it, then what's the point of going? Right? So
Wow.
you gotta learn.
Another
from those.
jewel, y'all. Repeat that.
I don't know how to repeat half of this stuff because it's just I don't
No,
speak.
that was good.
Okay?
That was good though.
That was another jewel. That was
You
another
gonna
jewel.
edit that
Come
one,
on
right?
now.
You gonna edit that one. So it's like that in business.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's gonna be scary. Okay, even when you've been running business and you're ready to step away and give it to somebody else. Okay, and pass that baton down. It's
Yeah.
going to be scary. Okay, but you have to know in your spirit and your soul and your heart that you did everything that you could possibly do to teach that person why you run business.
Right.
To implement your passion into them. When you find somebody that's passionate, because they might not be passionate about the business, they might be passionate about you, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when you find that person, that's when you start grooming them, right? I've been blessed to be groomed by people who have been phenomenally successful. Like I thought the richest person I ever knew made $5 million in a year. Okay. Then I met somebody that made $100 million in a year. I mean, $100 million over their lifetime. And I was like,
You're like, that was legal,
I was
right?
like, hey, look, I made 28.
Yeah, I know.
I told him, hey, I made $28,000 in a month, man. I'm fired up. Let's go. He goes, how can you live off of $28,000?
That's wild.
It's like,
Yeah.
dang, okay, hold on. Humble me quickly, right? Humble me quickly. And you just got to keep striving for it.
Yeah.
You have to have a vision, a plan, and the action behind it. This is a gem for you. If you don't have an action behind your plan, it's just you writing something on a piece of paper. You got to put action behind it.
Yeah.
Every single thing you do.
Yes.
Every single
Absolutely.
You've mentioned, obviously it's scary to jump into all this. You got to be humble. You got to learn a lot, and you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, and you're gonna learn. There's some people that are just friends, and there are some people who could become your family. Do you think that learning that, despite it might not have been fun or it might have been uncomfortable, or even you might have had bad days, do you think it's worth it to just still jump in?
Of course.
Regardless?
Of course. Of course. Look at it like this. If you don't do it in your business, you're going to do it in your job. The only difference about your job is if that job is the only thing providing you money, you can't leave.
It's true.
I
Yeah.
could start 50,000 businesses if I wanted to. Matter of fact, I done came here and started at least about 4. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
In your job though, if you got somebody that you like that you're working with, say they get fired, you can't leave because they left.
Mhm.
Right.
Right? That's your job,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
You got to look at it like this: people are people. Talking to every camera in here. Is your life revolving around your job, or is your business revolving around your life?
Yeah.
What do I mean by life revolving around your job? You can't leave your job and take a break whenever you want. You got to ask your boss for time off. Okay,
Mhm.
if you get sick, you're deducting your pay. Right, so many different things about your life revolving around your job. You can only do what your job allows you to do,
Right.
or you could come over here in this scary pool with us in the deep end. Okay,
Mhm.
and your business will revolve around your life. When you're a business owner, if I want to take a break, I take a break.
Yes.
If I want to go on vacation, I go on vacation. Who do I need to call? I'm gonna call my mama, my grandmama. I'm gonna call my family. Hey, look, I'm going out of the country, right? But
Right.
I'm not asking for permission,
Yes.
right? So yes, is it scary to jump over here? Of course, but is it worth it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay.
Wait a minute. Did y'all check the eyes out? He said,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Oh yeah. I mean that it's just. Look, I can't be no more raw.
Hey. Well, this. We have ran over.
Oh,
I was about to say we had too much
Yeah,
fun
we,
today.
Oh, my
we're
bad.
having too much fun with him. So we have to call him back. We got to get you back on here. But before we end it, I want you to tell the people how they can find you and how you can help them.
okay. All right, perfect. Let's start off with how I can help you. I can help you when you're ready to help yourself. Okay. First thing first, life insurance. I know it's scary. Y'all might have heard a lot of different things about it. Okay. Don't come to me for me to sell you something. Come to me with your ears open so I can educate you on it. That's all I want to do. I don't want to sell nobody life insurance, sell nobody in investments, or I just want to educate you on it. You
Yes.
make your own decision, point blank, period. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, how you can find me, first thing first, you can come straight here to your office, okay? Because I'm about to
Okay.
leave you. I actually got a couple of books that I'm gonna leave with you. It's
Yeah.
called How Money Works, okay? And it's from our company. Or you can find me off of Instagram, officially Coach J. That's my name on Instagram, officially Coach J. Find me right there. DM me. I'll see you my number. We'll talk. We can meet up at the office. We'll educate each other. I'll give you some games so you can learn how this stuff works.
Yes.
Okay.
And so for all of you out there, I thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, if you are interested in sitting in the hot seat, please comment or you can hit us up. Also, remember the producer back there.
Hey now.
That's
My guy.
Tim.
Come on, Tim.
You can also hit him up also to let him know that you would like to be on Business Fumbles. And remember, as I ended every week, education and experience, what good are they if they're not shared?
Mhm.
So come on, share your experience and let's help each other, to go become better entrepreneurs. And we're setting the pace for the new ones that's coming in. So again, thank you for tuning in to Business Fumbles, and I will see you guys next week.
Thank you, Miss Sheila. This was amazing. I love
Yes.
this motivation. Let's get it.